Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is Memory here. It is that time once again to check out a new upcoming season of anime, this being the spring season of 2021. It is almost here. I think Saturday, right? It kicks off. So already, right? We're just getting thrown back into the lovely pit of seasonal anime. We still have shows wrapping up as well as I speak, as I'm making this video right here. But you guys know the drill. We're going to be going over the list, seeing which shows I plan to watch, which shows I don't plan to watch, and then which shows I guess I'll be in the middle on, or kind of undecided on for right now. I also will be able to give you guys some titles that I plan to react to in this video, but as the season gets closer and we have more of like the simulcast dates and all that and exact times, I'll be able to form a list that I'm more confident. I don't want to say everything in this video, like every show I'm reacting to, but I will definitely be able to give you guys a couple of them. Before we get into the list, real quickly, I'm gonna show you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, if you guys have not, if you've been watching the channel and maybe you like the content that we have here, or if you're just new, or whatever the case may be, we're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers. We're about 800 subs or so off. All you have to do is right here. You see this red button that I'm swirling around right here? You hit it, you're subscribed. It's that easy. It's literally that easy. Like, it's not rocket science. And then the bell right here, if you want to hit the bell as well, hit this bell and turn the notifications on to all. Simple as that. So I did want to throw that in there before we get into the list, but we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to jump right into it, so here we go. We're also using LiveChart. I will have it linked down below. Some of these I'm going to be able to fly through because I'm just going to say I'm not watching this. Simple as that. But there are ones that I do definitely want to go into more in depth than some others. All right, so as you can see, we're starting off with Oya-san to Boku. Anime of the season. I will not be watching it, though. I don't know about y'all. I'm assuming most of y'all will be watching it because it's going to be anime of the season. But I'm going to skip out on it. Just not really interested. Next up, we have Godzilla Singular Point from Bones and Orange. Bones, my favorite anime studio. Y'all should know that. Orange is a studio I also really love as well. They're kind of coming together for this collaboration. Pretty sure this is a kaiju series. I mean, it has Godzilla in the title, which this time, like the time we're in, or this year, I guess you could say. I mean, we have like Godzilla versus Kong. We have the Gridman sequel coming out in this season. Spoilers. We will be getting into that later in the video probably, right? Because it is coming out in the spring as well. We have that. Kaiju number 8 is going on right now, which I'm actually recently caught up to that, and I'm loving that. I'm not like, I'm into kaiju series, but in terms of like the history of like kaiju series and all that, like there's a lot of kaiju stuff I have not watched, but I know there's a lot of kaiju fans out there that are probably really looking forward to this series and really looking forward to this year just as a kaiju fan, because there's a lot. We're getting a lot of kaiju stuff, and I'm definitely not complaining about that. But I do definitely plan to check this out. It's an original. It's from Bones, my favorite studio, and then Studio Orange, who like I said, I really like Studio Orange. So yeah, next one we have My Hero Academia season 5. I don't really think I have much to say about this one. I actually think this is what we're kicking off the season with, is MHA season 5, so you can't really complain about that. But the first half, we're having like the joint training stuff, which, like I've said before, I've heard what manga readers have said about it, that it's one of the weaker arcs. But there are a lot of people, like from the comments in my trailer reaction I did, a lot of people seem to really enjoy the arc as well. And I think the anime, depending on how it's done, could take it to even new heights. So I'm excited for another season of MHA, of course. And then the second half, I hate to think ahead or think towards the future or anything like that, but apparently the second half of season 5 is where shit really starts to kick off. So I'm really excited about that as well. But excited for another season. Of course, I'm going to be watching that, and I'm going to be reacting to that as well. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do for the first episode, because I heard it's like I don't know if it's like an episode 0, but I heard it's like anime original content. I think actually the Class 1A is going up against like 2 of the big 3, not Mirio, but they're going up against Nejire and Tamaki. They're setting up something to where they have to go up against them. So I think that's what we're gonna have in the first episode. They might mix in some recap in there as well. I probably will react to it if it's not mostly recap. If it's mostly recap, then I probably won't. But I think there is gonna be a lot more to it than just like recap. So yeah, next up we have General Manager of Baby. Another anime of the season contender. I mean, but I'm gonna skip out on it. I know y'all, like I said with the other one, like y'all probably gonna be watching it, but I'm gonna skip out. Washimo 9th season, not watching that. Next up we have Koi Kimo from Studio Nomad, rom-com series. Let's see what we have here. Once you fall for someone, you can't stop the love. A strange encounter spurs the meeting of Amakusa Ryo, a high-spec, businessman who's loose with women and his high school sister's best friend, Arima Ichika. From there, he falls madly in love. On the one hand, he approaches her with almost two straightforward methods, while she responds, simply disgusted, insulting him without hesitation, and he takes it as her way of showing love. Oh my gosh. This is a romantic comedy about a twisted elite employee and a normal otaku high school girl. Sounds like an interesting dynamic, I have to say, between the two of them, right? To say the least. I think I actually might check this one out. Apparently it has like some kind of an advanced screening or something along those lines. But I think I'm going to check this one out. I don't think it's going to be a series that I react to, but it is a series I feel like I'm definitely going to check out on my own time. Next up, we have Shaman King 2021, the Shaman King reboot. I think this one is stuck in Netflix hell. There's like a lot of shows actually this season that are stuck in Netflix hell, which very unfortunate. So it kind of throws out potentially me doing reactions or covering it, but I do definitely want to watch it because I have not watched the original Shaman King, and right here it says completely new anime adapting all of the 35 volumes of the manga. So they plan to go through with it all the way, which is probably good news for fans of the series, and good news for fans of people who want to get into it for the first time like me. And we've been seeing a lot of that actually recently. We've been seeing a lot of shows get kind of like these reboots or like these new, like with the Pokemon Journeys series that I'm actually currently watching. There's that. There's like the new Digimon series or whatever that I think was like a kind of new thing. And not necessarily a reboot, but it was like, I don't even know if you'd say like a reimagining or whatever it'd be. But we've been seeing that a lot lately with like older series getting reboots and where they adapt the whole series and all that. So we have that going on with Shaman King. And I definitely want to check it out. It looks good. It definitely looks good, I have to say. Next up, we have Utao Soccer Panda Mifanda. No. Next up, man, we have Moto. I'm just not going to be watching it. I can just tell. Next up, one I'm actually really excited for to talk about. I was talking about it earlier in the video, the kaiju stuff. Like, what a time to be a kaiju fan, right? Especially with anime, but then there's like Godzilla vs. Kong, right? There might be other stuff that I don't even like know about right now, but I think this is the sequel. I don't know if it's a sequel, if it's like a spin-off or a other kind of thing. I don't know if it's like a direct sequel, but we have another series, SSS. How do you say it? Dyna Zenon, I believe. Hope I might be butchering it, but sorry. From Studio Trigger, of course, a lot of the same staff that worked on Gridman. So, of course, I'm going to be watching this. And I did do reactions to Gridman. I don't want to tell you guys 100% if I'm going to be reacting to this or not yet, but I'm definitely considering it. I'm heavily considering it because I did do reactions to Gridman. And I don't know if this one, because Gridman kind of popped off for the girls, right? And for like the thighs, and a lot of people like made a big deal out of it, which I enjoyed the hell out of Gridman, don't get me wrong. For those reasons, but a lot of other reasons as well. I really loved Gridman. You guys know how I am with my mecha series. So I don't know if this series is going to blow up kind of like how Gridman did, like with social media and all that. It was like a big thing on Twitter. But we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to be watching it, of course. Next up, we have Let's Make a Mug 2. Is this maybe like a short? Consists of an anime portion and live action portion. The city of Tajimi, located in the southern part of Gifu Prefecture, Japan, is famous for Mino earthenware. The city is dotted with historical pottery producers and ceramic art. Oh, so it's like an art series. Okay. It has facilities where you can try your hand at making pottery and many restaurants that serve food on Minoware dishes. Is this one of those like series? You know how we've been seeing those anime shorts that like kind of promote the city? I think this might be another one of those. But a pottery series? That's something new. Honestly, I've never saw a series, an art series like with pottery. Like I saw art series that focus on like making things, but pottery, that's new. I think that's definitely new. I don't know if this is going to be a full series or what, but I think I'll say considering or maybe for this one for now. Next up, we have Burning Kabaddi. Is that how you say it? I'm probably butchering it. I'm sorry if I am. The story centers on first-year high school student. It's a sports series, definitely. The story centers on first-year high school student Tatsuya Yogoshi, a former ace soccer player who dislikes sports. He gets invited to join a team for the contact sport kabaddi. He scuffs at the idea at first, but becomes interested after watching a kabaddi practice. So from the description, I know that you can't really get too much out of it. It kind of sounds like your generic sort of sports setup, but it depends on the execution, right? I feel like if this series is going to be something to look out for, if it's going to be good or not. I personally haven't heard anything about the source material. I'm going to say maybe on that one for now. Next up, we have those Snow White Notes. Seems like a music series. When Setsu's grandfather died, so did Setsu's sound. Kind of already sounding like that one series. What is it called? Kono Oto Tomare. It kind of is giving me vibes like of that already. His unique creative spark. Grieving, he goes to Tokyo to find himself, but manages to become totally, literally lost on his first day. Only a chance meeting with Yuna, aka Yuka, the hostess, saves him from being robbed. At first glance, their lives seem totally different, but they're both striving for their dreams. Hers of being an actress, and his of developing his talent with the shamisen. And he could just be that life in the raucous, unfeeling urban sprawl of Tokyo. And it could just be that life. Okay. In the raucous, unfeeling urban sprawl of Tokyo could just be what binds their fate together. I don't know why it was so hard for me to read that last part for some reason. I'm not really sure. But this series actually kind of interests me, I would say. I'm probably leaning towards checking this one out, at least like the first episode or so, to see how I'm feeling about it. But I kind of like the premise, how it sounds there. Next up, we have Sushi Sumo. Man, some of these... Bro, I'm telling you, man. Some of these shorts and some of these series that probably nobody is really watching. Hey, maybe you're watching it, and that's all good on you. Like, you obviously, we can all watch whatever the hell we want. But, I mean, man... Maybe in Japan a lot of people were watching these kinds of shows, but I never hear people really talking about these goofy like shorts in the West or even anywhere else. But if you're watching it, good for you, right? I'm not trying to say you shouldn't, or I mean, it looks goofy, honestly. It looks funny. But I'm not going to be watching that. Next up, we have Vanguard Overdress Season 1, based off a game, I think? Or no, it's an action game series, but it's based off a card game, okay. Yuyu is a boy living in Kanazawa, Kaga Province. He is 15 years old and in his third year of junior high school. He has the ability to sense the feelings of others, but he is troubled by the fact that he cannot say no when asked. One day, Yuyu could no longer stand going along with his sister's hobby, so he ran away from home. What a reason to run away from home, right? Oh my god. Is that serious? The one who saves him is Megumi Okura. Megumi invites Yuyu to a nighttime amusement park called Wonder Hill, where her friends hang out. At the amusement park, Yuyu meets Megumi, Zakusa Ishikame, and Tomari Seto, members of Team Blackout, a group that meets to play Vanguard. Oh, okay, so it's a Vanguard series. Okay, so I'm probably not going to be watching this, to be honest. Next up, we have, I wish I would have read that earlier, like when you got me with Vanguard, it was like towards the bottom, it was like... So, it says season 1, but I know there's like isn't there like a bunch of Vanguard? It might be like a spin-off or one-off thing, so I probably could watch it, but I'm not. Next up, we have Butt Detective 2021, dude, from Toei. Oh, man, like, some of these, like Sushi Sumo, Butt Detective, the ones we were seeing earlier, like, this looks so goofy. Man, these are what kids, this is what they're putting on for kids in Japan. I mean, hey, I'm not judging. I'm not going to be watching that one, though. Thunderbolt Fantasy. I have not watched any Thunderbolt Fantasy. I've wanted to watch some Thunderbolt Fantasy, but have not yet. Next up, we have Vivi, Fluorite Eyes Song from Wit Studio, an original project. The author of ReZero is behind it, and I also think the author of Chaos Child is on it. They have some really good staff on this project. The music seems really good. I don't know if you guys have watched any of the teasers or anything like that. Like, the visuals look really good. This has all the makings of a series that I'm really, really going to like, honestly, with the people that are behind it and just with how it seems. Wit Studio original. I mean, it's Wit Studio, so, which I'm so happy for them, right? That after, I know, like, AOT was great and all what they did with AOT, but they were in this, kind of like in this rut, essentially, and now they're able to kind of spread their wings and do a lot more of these original things, and I'm really happy for them, honestly. They have a lot more freedom now with their studio and what they're doing. But I definitely plan to check this one out. I don't know what is the streaming situation with this one. I don't think anybody's announced it that they're picking it up, like Crunchyroll or Funimation or whatever. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Netflix or Amazon, so I don't know what it's going to be. I hope a streaming service really picks this one up, because that would suck if it's on. I mean, Amazon would even be okay, but if it's on Netflix, like, we'll see though. But I definitely plan to check this one out. I highly recommend y'all check this one out as well. Dinosaur Biori, no. Duel Masters King, no. Mazika Party from OLM Kids. I'm probably not gonna be checking that one out. Next up, we have Combatants Will Be Dispatched. I'm pretty sure this is from the author of Konosuba, I think, right? Yeah, this is from the author of Konosuba. Always bring a gun to a sword fight. With world domination nearly in their grasp, the supreme leaders of the Kisaragi Corporation, an underground criminal group turned evil megacorp, have decided to try their hands at interstellar conquest. A quick dice roll nominates their chief operative, Combat Agent 6, to be the one to explore an alien planet, and the first thing he does when he gets there is change the sacred incantation for a holy ritual to the most embarrassing thing he could think of. But evil deeds are business as usual for Kisaragi operatives, so if Six wants a promotion and a raise, he'll have to work much harder than that. For starters, he'll have to do something about the other group of villains on the planet who are calling themselves the Demon Lord's Army, of course, or whatever, you know. After all, this world doesn't need two evil organizations. There can only be one. So I'm going to be watching this. It is from the director of, or not from the director of Konosuba, although he might actually be on this as well. But it's from the author of Konosuba. I haven't actually looked much into the staff, but JC staff, I could very well see, honestly, the director of Konosuba being on this. I guess we can look real quick if he is. They don't even have it. Do they have it? Hiroaki Akagi. Didn't he director of Takagi-san? Oh, so it's not the director of Konosuba, but does have some experience under it, so that's nice to see. But I am going to be watching this, definitely, because from the things I mentioned, the synopsis actually sounds kind of like a mixture of like seriousness and kind of goofy stuff going on as well. Although that series, Kimono Michi, wasn't that the one that we had that was also from the author of Konosuba? I didn't really like that one, so we'll see how I feel about this one, I guess. Next up, we have Dragon Goes House Hunting, a comedy fantasy shonen from Signal MD. When a dragon fails to live up to the fearsome standards set for him, his family kicks him out. Wow. He embarks on a quest to find a new home, but soon finds that life on the road is no place for a cowardly beast of legend. In a fantasy world full of elves, dwarves, and other mystical creatures, where everyone wants a piece of him, literally, the frustrations of house hunting reach a whole new level. Man, poor dragon just trying to find a home, right? Just trying to find a place where he belongs. I feel like, I mean, I feel like hopefully the comedy's pretty good, but I feel like this also kind of has like a heart, like a wholesome kind of vibe, I guess, with it. Because I feel like he will find that place or that house where he belongs, or the people around him that he wants to be. I mean, even from the visual here, it seems like he eventually finds some people that he spends time with or whatever. But I feel like, even though like it sounds kind of sad, right? Like this dragon gets kicked out and he's just trying to find a place to live, right? And I think it will, by the end, have kind of like a heartfelt message or like, I guess, thing going for it. So I might check this one out. I'm going to say maybe. Moriarty the Patriot Part 2. Heck yeah. I really enjoyed, I was almost put completed. Not yet. Whoa. I completed Part 1. But yeah, I really did enjoy the first part. And from what we left off with at the end of the first part, I feel like the second part is going to be even better. So really excited for that. Megalobox 2, Nomad, yes. I mean, we already knew it was getting another season or whatever, but it's finally here. I didn't actually think it was going to be airing in this season, but hey, it's coming. And I guess Joe is back. Gearless Joe is back under a new name. I think he goes by like Nomad, if I remember correctly. I guess we can read it real quick, although we kind of already know a little bit what it is. In the end, Gearless Joe was the one that reigned as the champion of Megalonia, a first ever Megalobox tournament. Fans everywhere were mesmerized by the meteoric meteoric rise of Joe, who sprung. I swear, man, I don't know why they use some of these words. I feel like they just mix it up on purpose so it doesn't sound repetitive, like across all the descriptions. They just have these other words. Man, sometimes it's a little too much. Like, who uses that word? I've never heard anybody say, like, I've heard meteor, but meteoric? Like, what? Who sprung out from the deepest underground ring to the top in a mere 3 months and without the use of gear. 7 years later, gearless Joe was once again fighting in underground matches. So he's back to his roots, essentially, adorned with scars and once again donning his gear, but now only known as Nomad. Ooh, little bit of like, oh, why is he back in going to his roots? Like, what happened in that amount of time? What, is he down bad? Like, what happened after he won? Like, the fame and what came with it wasn't all worth it, which it should just be for the love of the sport, which I feel like Joe had. But we'll see how it goes. But I'll definitely be watching that because I did enjoy Megalobox for the most part. Next up, we have Farewell, My Dear Kramer? From Lidden Films, drama shown in sports with no soccer accomplishments to speak of. During the entirety of Sumire Suo's junior high school years, the young wing gets an odd offer. Suo's main rival, Midori Soshizaki, invites her to join up on the same team in high school with the promise that she'll never let Suo play alone. It's an earnest offer, but the question is whether Suo will take her up on it. Thus, the curtain opens on a story that collects an enormous cast of individual soccer-playing personalities. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I feel like a lot of these, like, you have to do a lot as a sports series, right, to stand out. And I don't know. I don't know if this one's really... It's kind of hard to tell, obviously, because I haven't watched any of it yet. But I don't know. There's just something I feel like about this one that I feel like it's not really going to stand out to me. I may enjoy it, but I don't think this is like something that is going to be like super special. Like the Haikyuus, like the Ace of Diamonds, like the Chihaya Furu, like those kinds of sports series. Like, I don't think this, I don't know. I'm going to say maybe, but I'm honestly leaning towards no with that one. Cause there's a lot of those generic sports series that just don't really, they're just kind of middle of the pack. They just don't really do too much. Next up we have, do too much for me. They could do much for others, but for me, I'm mostly talking when I say that. Next up we have 7 Nights. Man, Lidden Films is doing a lot of series this season. That's what I've noticed. 7 Nights Revolution, AU no Keishosha, a fantasy series. There were once many heroes who saved the world from destruction. Time has passed, and young men and women who have the title of successor awaken powers from the heroes of old and are entrusted with the fate of the world. The 7 Knights are a group of top successors. Among the 7 Knights is a young woman named Farias who is fighting against the troops of destruction. In the midst of this battle, she saves a young man named Nemo. He then awakens the power of a successor, but no one knows of the hero whose power he has inherited. I'm gonna say no for this one, to be honest. I mean, it just sounds really generic. Hige Hero. After being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway. What is up with the title? I kind of fuck with it, though. Yoshida is an ordinary guy who was rejected hard by the woman he'd spent the last 5 years having a crush on. Damn. On his way home after getting drunk at a bar, he finds a teenage girl crouched on the side of the road. Jeez. If you let me stay at your place, you can sleep with me. You shouldn't say that even as a joke, right? Then let me stay over for free. Before he knows it, the girl Sayu has moved in with him. This is a story of a runaway teen girl and an ordinary 26-year-old man? Huh. Now, there's definitely an age gap there. So is it going to be like, maybe y'all read it or y'all know, but is it going to be like weird? Is it going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like illegal? Or is this like a wholesome kind of thing where he's more of like a father figure to her or what? I mean, I know I guess, yeah. I mean, there's probably like, what, 10-year age gap maybe? Actually, we don't even know how old she is. Maybe I could look into it. Didn't see... Oh, they just said teenage girl. So, I don't know. What's her name? Sayu? 17. Is this like at the end of the series or where we'll be at when we watch it? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. I'm kind of curious about this one. I am going to check it out, but I feel like depending on how it's done, it could be kind of uncomfortable for me at least. I don't know, but we'll see. Let me know about that one though, for sure. Next up, we have Fruits Basket, the final season. Y'all already know. Don't even have to say much about that. Next up, we have Mars Red, a action historical military supernatural vampire series. I remember seeing about this one from Signal MD. The story takes place in 1923, and vampires have existed for quite a while. But now the number of vampires is increasing, and a mysterious artificial blood source called Askra has appeared. I think this was actually supposed to come out a bit ago, but it got like delayed. The Japanese, probably because of, you guys know, probably because of what? I don't even know if you are allowed to say it on YouTube or whatever, how it works. I don't know. I don't want to take any chances because of my problems with YouTube in the past. The Japanese government in turn creates Code Zero, a unit within the army tasked with taking down the vampire forces. Like, you could have just said vampires right there. And what better way to track vampires than by using vampires? Created by Lieutenant General Nakajima, this unit has historically been in the business of information war, but has been reassigned to solve the vampire cases. I'm kind of interested by this one. I'm going to say maybe about it. We'll see what happens with that. Odd Taxi. This looks like a Beastars, like cheap. It's not actually Beastars, but like a Beastars like chibi short or something or something. I don't know. So where to this town should look familiar, but suddenly it's not. The taxi driver Otakawa lives a very mundane life. He has no family, doesn't really hang out with others, and he's an oddball who is narrow-minded and doesn't talk much. The only people he can call his friends are his doctor Goriki and his classmate from high school Kakibana. All of his patrons seem to be slightly odd themselves. A college student who wants the world to notice him online. I don't know about this, honestly. I don't know. Probably not. What is this? It's just animals as ice cream? Original anime produces a Claverio. Okay, so I'm not going to be watching that. Slime Diaries. Yes. This is going to be more like lighthearted, more comedic. It's not going to be like serious. I mean, even in the main Slime series, I know we have like comedic stuff and just wholesome stuff, but it's also pretty serious at times. It's not going to seem like we're going to have any of that here. So this is going to be nice to watch. Nice kind of fill in because the next part of the second season is coming in the summer. So we have this to hold us over. That's going to be cool. Next up, we have the Saints' magic power is omnipotent. Fantasy romance. Say from a 20-year-old office worker is whisked away to a whole new world. Unfortunately for Say, the ritual that summoned her meant to produce a saint who would banish the dark magic. Brought two people over so it brought two people over instead of one. And everyone prefers the second girl over Say. Dang. But this is just fine by Say, who leaves the royal palace to set up a shop making potions and cosmetics with her new profile magic. Oh, so it ended up working out for her anyway. Okay. Business is booming, and this might not be such a bad life. After all, as long as her supposed sainthood doesn't come back to haunt her. Okay. So it's like you think everything's all fine and dandy. You're like, oh, this actually worked out nicely. And then it's like, oh, shit. Something comes creeping up on you. I'm actually going to check out this one. I'm kind of interested. All right, next up we have Joran, the Princess of Snow and Blood from Bakken Record. This is another... I've never heard of this studio. Is this like another Crunchyroll... It says Source Crunchyroll. Is this another Crunchyroll original? I'm not... The year is 1931. Prince Tokugawa Yoshinobu is 94 years old and holds absolute control over Japan. Remnants of the Meiji era's culture can be seen around the city, but scientific technology and Japanese esoteric cosmology on Myoto are also developing, exuding a sense of modernity. Yet lurking behind the glitz is... Why do y'all have to... Okay, these words may be easy for y'all to pronounce, but it's just like all these words back to back, after each other. Like, oh my gosh, like I feel like they can make these descriptions so much more simple. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Crunchyroll, come on. If this is via you, Crunchyroll, what the hell, man? like a dissident group planning this assassination of the prince and effectively the fall of the, like, I'm not claiming, first I just want to say I'm not claiming to be, I'm not the smartest person, and I don't consider myself stupid either, but I mean, man, when you're stacking all these words on top of each other, my whole thing is like, you could just make it a whole lot simpler, you know what I'm saying? It's like a description. Like, I know they want to try and rope you in or try to get your attention with it, like with these synopsises and all that, but I mean, sometimes it's a little too much. Sometimes you're just turning me off by doing that. You know what I'm saying? Tasked to extinguish these dissidents is new. The government's secret executioner group, Sawa Yukimura, who works for this organization, suffered from an early age at the hands of the Kuchinawa boss. Her entire family was murdered, and she dedicated her life to avenging them. I'm not interested in that one, to be honest. It kind of already lost me from all that. And I know it's not the show's fault, but I mean, my goodness. Space Academy, a space series from Fanworks. The story follows the daily life of Kotetsu-kun, who aspires to be an astronaut, and friends at the Animal Space Academy as they all pursue their dreams. Could you just leave it that simple? Like, some of these synopsises, whoever's writing them, man, like, I swear, dude, like, you could just make it that simple, and geez, like, that's it. It's a space series. It does obviously look more like aimed towards probably a younger audience. I love my space stuff. I might check this one out. I'm probably leaning towards no, but the only thing that really has me maybe wanting to check it out is because of the whole space thing, honestly. Next up, we have Full Dive. This ultimate next-gen Full Dive RPG is even shittier than real life. The story follows a dull high school student named Hiro Yuki when he is tricked into joining a fully immersive VR role-playing game. The game, Kiwame Quest, is promoted as more real than reality, with mind-blowing graphics, impressive NPC behavior, and even the scent of foliage and the sensation of wind blowing against your skin. Unfortunately, the game is already a virtual ghost town after being flooded with player complaints that the game is a little too realistic for its own good. Its quests are nearly impossible to clear since players have to be as physical fit to complete them as they would in real life. Players feel actual pain when they get hit, and puncture wounds take days to heal. The only reward is the mere sense of accomplishment. It is the complete opposite of a casual pick up and play game, but Hiro vows to beat this most realistic and most stressful game ever. Okay, this premise actually sounds pretty raw. Like, this sounds like something I may potentially like. Honestly, I definitely want to check this one out, because this is the whole thing with game, anime, or isekai. Like, it's probably gonna have a lot of the tropes there, but how can you twist it, or right? How can you make it something that seems fresh, or something we haven't really got or saw before? This sounds kind of something like that, right? Like a more of a fresh take. Although, like I said, it probably is gonna have still some of those tropes there. It's how you do it, right? It's the execution. So I'm gonna check that one out. Next up, we have Super Cub, a seinen slice of life. This kind of gives me like Yuru Camp. I know they're on bikes and all that, but this kind of gives me like Yuru Camp vibes for some reason. Second year high school student Koguma doesn't lead a very interesting life. She has no parents and no friends nor hobbies to keep her daily life busy. One day, she acquires a secondhand Honda Super Cub motorcycle and rides it to school. As time goes by, not only does Koguma have a new adventurous life, but she also forges precious friendships thanks to her precious little motorcycle. Sounds pretty lighthearted, right? Sounds pretty chill, pretty wholesome. I might check this one out. I'm gonna say maybe. I'm not saying it's gonna be on Yuru Camp level, but it does kind of give me those kinds of vibes. Wasn't there like what was the other? There was like a motorcycle series we had. I think it was called like Bakuan or something. It had like a lot of fan service. I just remember the one scene from the girl. She has like soap all over her, and she's like cleaning the motorcycle. If you guys want to watch it, it's called Bakuan. Bakuan, yeah, I think that's what it's called. And next we have Fairy Ranmaru from Studio Comet, a slice of life set in a world of cruelty and heartbreak. Fairy Ranmaru follows 5 young men who work at the mysterious Bar F and who offer to heal the hearts of their clients, wiping away their tears and causing smiles to bloom like flowers. They take no payment aside from stealing their clients' hearts. Oh my gosh. This isn't for me personally, but hey, go let them take your hearts. Go let them steal your hearts, y'all. If you want to watch this, go ahead. Like, see if they're able to steal your hearts too. It just doesn't seem right up my alley, to be honest. Next up, we have Zombieland Saga Revenge. I'm gonna be watching this because I did watch season 1 of Zombieland Saga, but here's my thing with Zombieland Saga. This was for me personally. I thought the series started off really well, and I get it. They were trying to like find their footing or find like what they wanted to do right for their music. But for me personally, I was more into the series when they were actually going into other genres of music and experimenting with other types of music. So when they kind of settled down on one style of music, and that was kind of what it was the rest of the series for the most part, it kind of lost me because I was really into Zombieland Saga like at the beginning. Like I think the first like 2 or 3 episodes I actually really enjoyed, and then my enjoyment kind of went down like after that. Like it was like it still wasn't bad. It was just kind of in the middle for me. I was just like kind of average. So that's how I felt about it. But I did watch it, and I am interested enough to watch season 2. So I will be checking it out. Next up, let's see what we have here. We have Bakuten, a school sports series. The story follows Shoto Futaba, a high school student who develops a passion for men's rhythmic gymnastics in his 3rd year in junior high. When Shoto enrolls in Soshukan High School, a private academy, he joins the men's rhythmic gymnastics club and pursues his youthful athletic dreams with a group of unique young men who share laughter and tears together. I don't know. I just feel like these sports series that we're getting into here, because we've already kind of had a couple now, they're not really interested in them, to be honest. I just feel like most of them are going to be pretty average. If there is one that is more than that, then I hope there is, and maybe I'll come back to it and check it out. But from a few that we've had in here, they just don't really, I don't know, they don't really grab me, really catch my attention. So it just doesn't seem like something I would really be into all like that. Next up, we have How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Season 2. I've been waiting for this. It's felt like an eternity since Season 1. How long has it been? It's been like a couple years. It's definitely been a couple years since Season 1. I'm going to be excited to see this back. For sure, my boy Diablo and the girls and all of that. And what else are we going to have in this season? I'm excited to find out. Maybe some new characters. Actually, it seems like maybe we do have... I don't remember. It's been a bit. Maybe we do have some new characters in there. Maybe they have something new here in the... Oh, there's a lot. I mean, we know what it is. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Season 2. I'm going to be watching it. Have not watched any of this one. Yokai Watch, no. The World Ends With You, the animation. I've saw like little clips of this. It actually looks pretty good. I know what people will say about like the game adaptations and all that, how most of the game adaptations aren't usually pretty good when it comes to anime, but this one actually looks pretty good. I gotta say, The World Ends With You. I have actually not played the game, but I know a lot of people love it, and a lot of people are really looking forward to it. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what it kind of has going for it. Yuki Yuna, have not watched any Yuki Yuna stuff. Blue Reflection Ray, from JC Staff, based off a game, Magic, and school series. Optimistic Hiyori cannot turn anyone away in need. Clumsy Ruka can't seem to make friends even when she tries. Together, this unlikely pair will use the power as reflectors to help those in need with their emotional struggles and change the world. I'm going to say maybe on this one. I don't know. I'm just going to say maybe. I'm feeling a maybe on that one. Next up, we have I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. An at-home comedy about a powerful girl who doesn't work too hard. After dying of overwork in the real world, man, wow. I'm reincarnated as an immortal witch, and I spent 300 years enjoying a relaxing life. At some point, though, I end up at level 99. All those years spent killing slimes to make the money to pay the bills. So just doing that basic, oh my gosh, must have killed a lot of slimes. Oh, man. Rumors of the level 99 witch spread, and soon I'm up to my ears in curious adventures, duelists, dragons. Gets roped into it, right? Like, gets roped into it. Just from living life, I guess normally in this world. This isn't a dojo, so don't come here to fight me. I've never been on an adventure, but I'm the strongest in the world. What's going to happen to my relaxing life? This sounds pretty cool. This sounds pretty cool. I have to say, I'm going to be checking this one out. It just the whole concept, right, of just like, oh, you just try, like, because we've saw a lot of those, right? We've saw like the slice of life isekai series where they're like, very wholesome, not much going on in terms of like the action or anything like that. It's like it's not too crazy or too serious. It looks like this may have a mixture of both of that, or it's gonna be like more on the comedic side of things, right? Like maybe more relaxing, comedic at first, but then it's like you're roped into all these things where it does get kind of serious, and they put like a comedic spin on it though. Or maybe it is really serious. I'm not sure, but I actually am pretty interested in this one. Next up, we have 86, one of my most anticipated of the season, without a doubt, from A1 Pictures. I think it was announced that it's getting 2 cores recently as well. I'm just hoping A1 Pictures, because I know A1 Pictures have kind of had their, like, people have kind of stressed their problems with A1 Pictures in the past. Not in terms of like how they animate stuff, but I feel like it's mostly in terms of how they adapt stuff, like the adaptation, you know? So I'm hoping that this has a good adaptation, because I've heard that this is one of the best light novels like out there right now. And it looks right up my alley. The series definitely looks right up my alley, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be doing reactions to 86 for sure. I can say that 100%. Like I said, I think with My Hero Academia earlier, definitely going to be doing reactions to this. Really excited. I feel like you guys should definitely be looking out for this one. I just hope the adaptation's good. But it looks right up my alley, man. I'm telling y'all. So yeah, next up we have Shadow's House from Cloverworks. I kind of like this visual, like how it's flipped like that. That's actually pretty raw. Faceless shadow nobles living in a vast mansion, attended by living dolls who spend much of their time clearing up the suit, endlessly admitted by the mysterious masters. Follow the story of Emilkio? How do you say that? A young and cheerful living doll as she learns her duties serving as the attendant for Kate Shadow-sama. Kind of has like a mysterious sort of vibe going on here, especially like with the visual and even how the description sounds. I think I might check this one out. I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna check this one out. At least give it a couple episodes, see how I feel about it. Next up, we have Eden Zero. You guys already know I'm watching this one. Did a video for the trailer and all of that. Seems pretty fun, honestly. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be like the next like big thing. Like it's gonna it's gonna be a masterpiece or anything. I guess in terms of popularity, it could be the next big thing, depending on how the anime is. I'm not really sure, but I'm talking in terms of like how I feel about it. Like I don't think this is gonna be a masterpiece, but I think this is a series I'm gonna have a lot of fun with, just from the trailer and what I watched of that and what they kind of displayed with the characters there. It's also from Hiro Mashima, the author. Obviously, you guys know Fairy Tail and Rave Master and all of that. So, which I have not watched any of those or read any of those. So this will actually be my first time ever experiencing a Hiro Mashima work in anime form. All right, and next up we have Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Another one that I definitely would say I'm pretty excited for. And this is like another one of those teasing series. Obviously, as you can tell, it says Nagatoro is a freshman in high school who loves teasing and torturing her older male classmate. What's her motivation and why does Senpai put up with her? Does Nagatoro just want to create misery for Senpai, or maybe she secretly likes him? Probably that. That's what it does sound kind of similar to Takagi-san in a way. I mean, that is also another like kind of teasing series, but she has the whole tanned thing going on, and I actually know there's like a decent amount of like people that really enjoy the manga or really have talked about the manga for this one. Like it's actually pretty popular, so I will be checking that one out. Next up, we have Battle Athletes Victory Restart. Having defeated the Space Invaders, the Neriri aliens, humanity has expanded its residential areas to the entire solar system. It's like a space sports series or something. 100 years later, humanity is now enthusiastic over Shin. I don't know what that says. Girls from all over the solar system gather at a space colony called the University Satellite. They engage in fierce battles in a variety of sports for the title of the best in the universe. So it's like a space like sports series or something. The final winner is called Cosmic Beauty and is crowned Queen of the Solar System. This actually sounds pretty cool, I gotta say. I don't know like how the sports is gonna be and all of that, like if that's really gonna grab me, but just like the whole the concept of like space sports, I guess, or whatever. Like they're in space, but maybe they're not actually like in space running, like doing sports. Imagine that. That'd be raw. Like somehow they made it to where it could happen. Like if you're in just floating in space or however it would work, like you're doing sports and shit. That would actually be pretty cool. I don't know. I don't think that's what this is, but it does sound pretty cool. I'm gonna say maybe for now. Next up, we have Pretty Boy Detective Club from Studio Shaft. This is a Nisio Isin work. If you guys don't know who Nisio Isin is, I'm sorry for you. That was kind of a asshole remark, but seriously, man, like, come on, you should know who that is. Pretty Boy Detective Club. I'm gonna be watching it primarily because it is Shaft. It's Nisio Isin. So yeah. Next up, we have Tokyo Revengers. I've actually heard pretty solid things about this series as well. I know there's a lot of people behind this one, like the manga. Takamichi Hanagaki is lit in films once again, I have to say. Takamichi Hanagaki is a freelancer that's reached the absolute pits of despair in his life. He finds out that the only one girlfriend he ever had in his life that he had dated in middle school, Hinata Tachibana, had been killed by the ruthless Tokyo Okay, this dude about to go in. The day after hearing about her death, he's standing on the station platform and ends up being pushed over onto the tracks by a herd of people. He closes his eyes thinking he's about to die, but when he opens his eyes up, back how he somehow had gone back in time 12 years. 12 years? Now that he's back living the best days of his life, Takamichi decides to get revenge on his life by saving his girlfriend and changing himself that he'd been running away from. Okay, that actually sounds pretty interesting, I gotta say. I'm gonna be watching that. 12 years, though, to go back by that long, kind of like a redo, essentially, like of his life, I guess, or like his high school life, those times at school and whatnot. Not even high school, I guess, before that, too. So I'm gonna be watching that. Mucal Dreamy, no, because I haven't watched any of that. To Your Eternity, you guys should already know I'm going to be watching that. Really considering doing reactions to Your Eternity as well. If you guys watch my video from the trailer, you guys would know the trailer reaction I did for it. I'm really excited for this series. And I have read a little bit of it, like the first like 2 or 3 chapters, I think it was. And this was like 5 years ago we're talking about. So I don't even really remember. But what I mainly remember is how depressed I was at the beginning of the series. That is definitely something I remember. So I'm gonna be watching that and maybe reacting to that. We'll see. Next up, we have Osamake rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose. Really? You're telling me that the childhood friend won't lose? Now? Here's the thing: if the childhood girl is the main girl, then that's actually not really anything. Because we see so many rom-coms where it's like, okay, you have the main girl, but then you have the childhood friend girl who's not really the main girl. Like, she's a main character, but she's not the main girl. So if the childhood friend is the main girl, then that's not even anything. You got to have it to where there's a main girl, but then there's the childhood friend girl who's also like a main character, but she's not the main girl, but then she wins. That's how you have to do it. I hope that's actually how this is done. The story centers around Suihara Maru, an average 17-year-old high school boy who has never had a girlfriend, and the heroine battle between his beautiful first crush, Shiroku Sakachi, and his childhood friend, Kuro Hashida. Okay, there we go. And we don't know if the childhood friend actually doesn't lose, but that's the title of the series. So you would think, right, that, okay, she can't lose, but hey, maybe she still does end up losing. I don't know. But I'm going to watch this. It sounds pretty interesting to me. And I want to see the childhood friend freaking win, right? I want to see that. What is this? Cestus? Isn't this supposed to be Cestus, the Roman fighter? Yeah, it's Cestus. 54 AD. Cestus, a young boy orphaned by the Roman Empire and made a slave, is placed into a training school for fighters. Isn't that just another word for fighters? It is here that he begins his journey to defy fate and fight for his own freedom. I've saw clips of this. I'm sorry, but the CG just does not look. You guys know with me, in terms of CG, I'm usually pretty open to CG and I don't mind CG. But it's like when CG looks certain ways, like how it looks here, at least for me, it turns me off, honestly. So I don't know. I'm probably not going to watch this one, but I might end up at one point, depending if it's not actually as bad as I've been seeing, like from the trailers and all of that. Welcome to Demon School Aruma-kun Season 2. Not going to be watching that. I did not watch Season 1. Gloomy the Naughty Grizzly, no. Shirakaru Neku, no. Kingdom Season 3, no. I have not read or watched any Kingdom. But if you're watching Kingdom Season 3, I mean, most people will say read the manga or whatever because the manga's a lot better. But Kingdom Season 3 is finally here because it has been like delayed a bunch and all that. So it's finally back. I think that's actually it. Don't we have like movies or anything? Let's see if there's any movies real quick. Aria, I haven't watched any Aria yet. The Evangelion movie, I have not watched the rebuilds yet. I have watched the OG Evangelion and End of Eva, but I have not watched the rebuild movies yet. I'm gonna be doing that before this movie is out, hopefully in the West. So I'll be able to watch this movie at some point. No for this one. Probably no for this one. No. Cells at Work? Theatrical anime based on a story from Volume 5 of the original. Okay, I think I remember when this got announced. If it's any Cells at Work stuff, I'll be watching it. Girls in Panzer, have not watched any of that. We have more Grisaya. Grisaya Phantom Trigger. I still haven't watched whatever else came out from Grisaya Phantom Trigger. But I'll be watching that at some point. Japan Sinks. Oh, boy. Yeah, I know I was talking about Anime of the Year and all that a while ago at the beginning of the video, but this is really Anime of the Year that I will not be watching. Next up, we have Heaven's Feel, the third movie. I've already watched it. I saw it in theaters. Looking for Magical Doremi. Not watching that. Let's see what else we have. Love Me Not. The story centers around Yuna and Akari, who have two very different views of love. Yuna is someone who sees love as a dream, and Akari is someone who is very realistic about her romance choices. Meanwhile, there are two boys, Kazomi and Ryo, who also have different views of love. Kazomi's an airhead and doesn't understand the concept of love, while Ryo grabs the opportunity when confessed to as long as the girl looks cute. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna say maybe for this one. Here's the thing with movies, you guys should probably know already, is that who knows if we get them in the West, right? Or when we get them, or when we get a translation, or whatever the case may be. So this is just the BD DVD release, so I think it's already actually been in theaters. This is just the... Okay, I see. So if someone translates it, or maybe the Japanese BD actually has a English translation with it, then I think a lot of these are like that, though, like Blu-ray releases, yeah. So if you guys have been waiting for Heaven's Feel Part 3, I mean, we should be getting a translation sometime soon, because, look, it comes out in 4 days. So that's the BD DVD release. So then, from that point, I don't remember if there's English subs on the Japanese BD for Heaven's Feel. I don't remember. But I don't remember if that was announced. But someone, if not, someone will just have to translate it, right? Like a subgroup or something like that. So it actually may not be that long until y'all are able to see it. Stand By Me, Doraemon, no. Detective Conan, no. Big Grand Order, the movie. Divine Realm of the Round Table Camelot, yes, for sure. That's just the BD DVD release. There's like a couple of these wave movies, huh? Bang Dream, no. Crayon Shin-chan, no. Ben Become Human, that's just the BD release. Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, I don't think I can watch this yet, so I'm gonna say no. The other Fate Grand Order movie, yes. Knights of Sidonia, love Woven in the Stars, hell yes. I've been waiting. It's gonna be a while probably until we can see it, because this is just the theatrical release. But whenever that comes, I'm excited for that. I need to rewatch actually Knights of Sidonia before this movie, before I watch it. It's been a while since I've watched it. Could Wafter, spoilers for Little Busters in here. I thought this was a side thing though, because I actually wanted to watch this, but if you have to watch Little Busters to watch this or whatever, then I'm gonna say no. I'll just put maybe, because I do want to watch it. I still need to watch a Little Busters. Another wave movie, man, there's like 3 of them, dude. Rayview Starlight movie, I will be watching that. It's probably gonna be a while until we can see that though. Haven't watched any Natsume's Book of Friends. 7th Tokyo Sisters, probably no. And the rest of these I think are no's. The Journey, let's say no. All right, I think the only thing, there's like OVAs, maybe? OVAs, let's see if there's anything really in here that kind of stands out. I'm not gonna... If there's any of these I should be looking out for, let me know. But, Be the Beginning, Succession, I'm gonna be watching that. I know it's already out. I haven't got to it yet. But none of these other ones really. I still need to watch the Data Bullet stuff. The Way of the House Husband. I think I'm gonna read the manga for this. Maybe. I'm leaning towards reading the manga because I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for it, but it's literally it's not even animated, essentially. Like, it's animated, but it's like a comic, like, how would you put it? It's like, it's just constant stills. It's like a moving comic, essentially, I guess. Like, literally, that's the best way I would put it. It's not even, like, necessarily animated. Like, there's barely any animation with it. Go watch the trailer. You guys will see what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's why I want to read the manga, because I've heard good things about it. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in the Dungeon 3 OVA? Yeah. Kaguya-sama Love is War OVA. Tomazaki OVA, yeah. Oh, Yasuke. I'm really excited for this. This is from LaShawn Thomas, and it's like a samurai series. Mecha in it too? In a war-torn feudal Japan filled with mechs and magic, the greatest Ronin ever known, Yasuke struggles to maintain a peaceful existence after a past life of violence. But when a local village becomes the center of social upheaval between warring daimyo, Yasuke must take up his sword and transport a mysterious child who is the target of dark forces and bloodthirsty warlords. The story of Yasuke, the first African samurai who actually served the legendary Oda Nobunaga, will be released to the world. And I actually think this is like actually based on history too, right? I don't think it's like, it isn't original, but it's also like based on history too. So that's actually really cool. But I'm excited about this. Like with LaShawn Thomas, Mappa's on it as well. Like, what a collaboration that is. Eden. The story is set thousands of years in the future, where a city known as Eden 3 is inhabited solely by robots whose former masters vanished a long time ago. On a routine assignment, 2 farming robots accidentally awaken a human baby girl from status, questioning all they were taught to believe, that humans were nothing more than a forbidden ancient myth. Actually sounds kind of interesting. A Netflix series. I'll say maybe for that one, and then no for this one. I know we didn't really go through any of the others, but I really just was kind of looking out for things that caught my attention, I guess, or things I knew, or things that I've watched before. So yeah, I think that about does it for the list, guys. Honestly, like, just from the first go through, it doesn't seem like I'm really gonna be reacting to as much. I know now how things are for me. I really don't react to as much as I used to anyway, but this season, I mean, it's really, especially, it sucks because there's like 3 or 4 shows that I was considering doing reactions for are picked up by Netflix, or we don't know anything about where they're going to be streaming at yet. So that's like kind of unfortunate, because I wanted to do VV, for example, but I don't know what's happening with that, like the simulcast. So like right now, it's looking like MHA and 86 are like the 2 definite ones for reactions, at least. And then maybes are like the Gridman sequel or whatever, the next Gridman project, or whatever you want to say about it. That's a maybe for reactions. Like Shaman King is Netflix. VV, we don't know. Godzilla Singular Point, isn't that Netflix as well? Yeah, it is Netflix. Like, see, man, like, geez, Netflix is coming here and ruining everything. Combatants will be dispatched, I guess, is a maybe. Fruits Basket, the final season, I'm definitely doing for sure. I didn't mention that before, but I'm definitely doing that. So there's 3. There's 3 I'm definitely doing for sure right now. Slime Diaries, I don't know if I'm going to do reaction to that, honestly. I'm probably just going to watch it on my own time. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, maybe for reactions, maybe. I did do reactions to season 1 for that. Eden Zero is Netflix. Nagatoro maybe for reactions. See, To Your Eternity, I said maybe as well for reactions. So there's a few maybes I have in there. Like, here's the thing. Once I have more of an idea on when everything is going to come out, then I'll really be able to say what I'm able to react to. Because, like, if there's 2 or 3 shows or 4 shows or whatever that come out in one day, then I'm not going to be able to do certain ones. But the ones I told you all already, My Hero, 86, and Fruits Basket, are ones, those 3 for sure I'm definitely going to be reacting to. And I'll probably add maybe 2 or 3 more. That's where I'm kind of at right now. So what series do you guys want to see me react to? The ones I talked about in here. If you're talking about, if you bring up other shows that I said maybe on, or that I said no on, I'm most likely not going to react to those. Like, only ones that I said I'm watching in here, you know, let me know if you'd want to see reactions to those. Like, if VV gets picked up by a streaming service, by like Crunchyroll or Funimation, then I'll probably be doing VV. So that would be 4. We'll see how it plays out, though. I also kind of have plans for something else that I'm going to do on the side. I know I've been this is kind of off topic a little bit, I know, but with like Your Line April, I've been having a bunch of copyright problems with it, and that's why you guys haven't saw any reactions. It's really annoying. It's like every video I try to upload for Your Line April, I have copyright problems with, so I just kind of stopped watching it, essentially. But there was another series that I planned to watch, and it was probably going to be for 30K that I'm going to start and be going through that. So keep that in mind as well. But this season seems like, compared to the winter, right? This season doesn't seem as crazy. At least for me. I don't know about y'all. But for me, this season does not seem nowhere near as crazy as the winter season. There are obviously shows still in here that I'm looking out for, but it seems like this is definitely going to be a slower type of season for me. And then there's a bunch of crazy stuff coming out in the summer, I think, if I remember correctly. So we're going to go right back to madness. And then if MHA is like carrying over, 86 is carrying over into the summer. I know we're already kind of looking ahead, but the summer about to be something else. If Fruits Basket is 2 cores, like, that might carry over into the summer. Like, my goodness, just thinking about that already. But this season, some of my most anticipated, if you guys are curious about that, MHA, obviously. Godzilla's Singular Point, I would say I'm kind of looking out for. Shaman King. But most anticipated, I would say MHA Season 5, SSS Dyna Zenon, VV, Fruits Basket. Let's see, 86. This isn't really in any order. Like, that would probably be my top 5. Or To Your Eternity is there too. Like, those 6. So those 6 are what I'm really, like, my most anticipated. Like, I'm really looking forward to. And then there's other ones in here that I'm a little excited for, interested in, I would say. Like, the ones I have marked as green but didn't mention. Like, I'm still looking out for those shows. Don't get me wrong. But those are just, like, the ones I mentioned are, like, my most anticipated. So, yeah, I think that is about it for the list. Let me know what you guys think of the list. Let me know what you guys think. Kind of, how is this season looking for you? Is this season maybe looking crazier for you than the winter season was for you? Because for me, I'm like, oh, the winter's like, was crazier than how this season is looking. But it's different for everyone, right? And everyone can watch whatever the heck they want. I'm not trying to say, because I'm not watching something, I'm not trying to say like you shouldn't watch it. Like, y'all watch whatever the heck you want to watch and enjoy whatever you want to watch, But what are your most anticipated? What shows are you looking out for? Which shows would you like to see reactions for? Let me know about all this down in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace out.